So today's vlog, or well, not really vlog, just kind of like a sit down with you type of video. Um, I had to write stuff down in my happy jotting journal, but I just wanted to touch on something. This video, I was very conflicted about posting or just saying out loud because I already had to live it. And I didn't know, or I'm still not sure the type of responses it's gonna get, but this is my truth. This is my reality. And this is where I was. I'm not saying it for anybody else. I'm not speaking for anybody else. I'm only speaking for myself and what I went through and whatnot. So let's just get into it. Basically, the subject of this video is mental health and pregnancy. And my experiences so far with it. And I had to do bullet points because I didn't want to be rambling like now, but I didn't want to just be all over the place type thing. And yeah, this is very nerve-wracking for me to even put out there, but I'm going to. And first few things I'm gonna talk about are the things you're not really prepared for when you get pregnant, when you first get pregnant. And in my case, I did touch on a little bit in my pregnancy announcement how I didn't know I was pregnant for a good 6 weeks. I didn't know. Didn't have the typical signs, throwing up, stuff like that. I didn't have that. So I didn't know that I was pregnant. And what was happening with me was my mental was messing with me, like my depression, my schizophrenia, my anxiety, everything was just attacking me at once. And I wasn't out here at the time before, I knew. Well, I was out here when I found out, but I wasn't out here when all this was happening. And I don't know, it just was a lot of things happening that kind of made me believe it was stress, that I was just like, yeah, it's stress and, I'll be fine. And like I said in my last video, I was just like, my famous joke was, yeah, like I said, the one time I say I was stressed would be the time I would really be pregnant. And I did have a co-worker, my friend Rachel, she was also my co-worker, tell me to get pregnancy tests. But like I said, I didn't want to waste anyone's time. I didn't want to waste anybody's money. I just like, no, whatever's going on will be fine. And I'm not gonna touch into exactly conception and all that, but after it happened, I was constantly having stomach aches, like that I did have. And I remember trying to eat dinner and I just couldn't. And this was happening for weeks, that I just wasn't eating, and I would take a bite of something and I just wouldn't eat. And again, that's a sign of my depression. Sometimes either I don't eat or I overeat. There's really no in between. So I definitely didn't think anything of it. Just I'm just stressed. I'm just going through a lot in this time period. My job, it was just a lot of stuff happening. So I was just like, I know once I get a break, I'll be fine, And it didn't dawn on me until I stayed with my friend Rachel that I didn't have a cycle. I was like, wait a minute. I didn't have a cycle this whole month, but then I know I have irregulars, I know, like, but I have irregulars, so I'm like, okay, I'm just stressed out, so it's just a couple days late, but it never showed up. But what was happening, I was having schizo reactions. I would wake up and have like new scratches all over me, and I was just very moody, and it would look like I had black eyes, like as if somebody like was hitting me. It was a lot of stuff happening. So again, I'm just chopping it up as this is my mental. It's nothing but that. And it really affected me. Like it really messed with me psychologically, because when I came back to California and, my mom and my best friend made me take the test, everything started falling to pieces. Like everything fit perfectly because of the things that was going on, my depression, my anxiety. Just everything was heightened. My body wasn't like understanding what was happening, because I have seizures as well and stuff. So my body just wasn't understanding, it's getting ready to prepare for a life. It was fighting. And normally when I develop another personality, I'll um I'll like eat and eat and eat and eat, and it's like this person is like needing fuel. And that's how I always know that, oh, another persona came, because now I'm eating like I haven't eaten in years. But this time that wasn't happening. I was just waking up with scratches and welts and things on me, and seeing things and feeling things touch me, and it was just really weird. So that's why I chopped it up to that. Like I said, these are my experiences. I'm not saying this is for everybody. Um, but once I found out, once I came to the terms that I was pregnant, when I tell you that it's like my stomach grew overnight, when I got that confirmation, it was crazy. And I had a lack of like excitement and joy, and I wasn't like, I wanted to be happy, but I couldn't at the time. I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know where to place what I was feeling. Um, and it was like a lot of emotions, nervousness, scared, just a lot of emotions. And I didn't really have too much to say about it. Everybody's like, yeah, but I didn't myself have too much of a reaction. I just remember, like I said, flying down the stairs with the test in my hand, like, oh my gosh, and this happened. Like I had thought to record it. I'm not even lying, because that was a moment that I'll never forget. Like I can never unsee that. I can never unlive that. Like, I mean, of course you can't, but like how it happened, I can never unlive that. So when I told my mom and when I showed them, I was just like, it was kind of disbelief, because for one, I never really talked about my miscarriage, but I went through that in 2015. And for one, I didn't want to get my hopes up, because even though I was a little bit less than what I was this pregnancy, I still just was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get attached. I don't want to feel happy, and then God forbid something happens. So for a while, I just was blah, and family would ask, like, how do you feel? I'm just like, it's happening. Like, okay, yeah, whatever. Um, for me, like, the beginning, my first trimester was horrible. Like, it was the most trying experience of my life. Like, pregnancy in general is hard, but because I have so many other health issues going on, it like, oh, it messed with me mentally. Like, this has really pushed me mentally, and I was just mentally exhausted, and I just wasn't sure what the outcome was going to be. I didn't know where my mind was and how I felt about things. And my schizophrenia definitely played like a big part, because I hadn't been on any medication prior to finding out I was pregnant. I'm still not on my schizophrenia medication. The last time I had it was, I believe, in October. That's probably the last time I had it. And because I didn't have insurance where I was, or in Utah, I didn't have insurance. And then I didn't stay there long enough to when I got a job to fix all that. So I couldn't get, my meds. And I tried, it was so bad that I was like checking myself in. Like I went to one of the behavioral clinics that was close to my job, and I talked to someone, and I was very close to checking myself in because I didn't know what was going on. Like it was to the point where I was going to go to a facility because the voices were so strong. Everything was just so heightened. Like it was heightened. Like I'm seeing so many different figures, and I couldn't determine what was real and what was my fantasy, or whatever you want to call it, my tax. I couldn't determine that. And I just felt like I was drowning. And nobody understood where I was coming from. Like I couldn't get them to, like, anyone to understand what was happening to me. I to be honest, didn't even know what was happening to me because I never experienced it to that level. Like I've had really bad schizo attacks, but the finding out, like, because of this pregnancy, like it messed with me. Like it messed with me. So I can remember sitting in the hallway, where I'm at now, and I just broke down. Like in the beginning, like my first trimester, I would just cry at the drop of a hat, like just cry about anything. Like the first time, it was kind of like just random things. Like I asked my best friend to make me a grilled cheese sandwich and mozzarella sticks, and I told her to cut it like in a triangle, and one half was bigger than the other. And I cried, and then my mozzarella sticks weren't cheesy anymore, and I cried. So I just remember, like, just little things like that, just starting like that. And then one day I just really sat and was like, I'm gonna be a bad mom. Like I can't do this. Like I don't know if I can handle this. And again, when you're schizophrenic and you're already telling yourself that, and apart from the voices and the facades that's already happening, when you yourself is believing that, then your voices play along with that, and they're like egging you on, like, yeah, that's right, you're not going to be a good mom. So all of that was in my ear. Like when I have so many voices talking to me at once, like my ear will literally get hot. Like that's what's happening. So I'm just like trying so hard to just like not focus on it, but at the same time I'm just sitting there rocking back and forth crying. Like I can't do this. Like I don't want to be half of a mom. I don't want to take this out on my child. I don't want to resent my child. And as hard as it is for me to say this out loud, but it's like this is what I was dealing with in the first trimester. Just I was only sick between 6 and 10, well, 6 and 9 weeks, and I was like just feeling all of these emotions at once, and I didn't want to ever say them out loud because I was just like, I'm a horrible person. Like this is making me a horrible person. Like this is a life, you can't play around with the life. So briefly, I thought about adoption. I'm not gonna even hide that or lie about that. Like I never once thought about abortion because I don't believe in that. But I briefly looked into adoption just because I wanted to not be selfish and hold on to something that I knew I couldn't give my all to, if that makes sense. I was just like, if I'm feeling like this now, who's to say this won't last, and I don't want to have the baby and then be feeling like this. So I briefly thought about it. Um, I was really sick in the first try. I mean, really, really, really sick. Like I had severe morning sickness. I forgot what exactly. I guess severe nymphosis, if I'm saying it right. I think that's what it's called. Um, but it was to a point where my morning sickness was bad already. It was horrible. But then one day it kind of subsided, it kind of went away. So I'm eating and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I got this. And then it just came back with a vengeance. I couldn't keep water down. I couldn't keep my own spit down. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. Anything that had to do with motion, I couldn't do it. And I was just weak and I was pale and frail and just the best way I can describe it is literally the walking dead. Like that's what I was. I was on my way out. Like the hospitals don't want to, ever say that, but that's what was happening. And I was very, very dehydrated. And um, they finally got fluids in me and stuff, and managed to make that work for me. And and I was stable. I was okay. They monitored me. They made sure the baby was okay. The baby was okay. And I think what changed it, well, I kind of jumped to that part, but what changed it was my 8 to 9 week appointment, because I couldn't see anything at 6 weeks, so I had to come back. Um, so that kind of, when I had my very first ultrasound, I was so nervous because of what had happened prior. I didn't even make it to an ultrasound with my last pregnancy. Um, so the fact that, I made it this time, and when I saw what I saw, it was very nerve-wracking. I was very scared and very like, oh my gosh, are you sure this is right? Are you sure, this is normal? Are you sure this is okay? And I would, ask a lot of questions, and she would tell me, everything is fine. It's very normal, because they couldn't see anything on the ultrasound itself, so they had to go in and like with the longer one, and I hated that one. And for a long time, for like between 6 and I want to say 10-ish weeks, they had to do vaginal. So that kind of worried me, because I'm just like, okay, why do you guys have to keep doing, it this way? Why aren't you guys seeing anything when you just roll it on my stomach? So that kind of worried me. But when I had first went in, I didn't get those. I didn't get to keep that one because there was nothing. But when I went in for my 8-week one, this is what they had. So they were like, okay, it's it's normal and everything's fine. It's there. Cause she told me, she's like, everything that's supposed to be there for you to be pregnant is there. You are pregnant, but it's just too early to see the baby. So I'm kind of freaking out, and I was very disappointed. But this one, I want to say this was the 10th week, and I heard the heartbeat. I want to say that was my 10th week. I want to say that. And everything changed. Everything changed for me. And when I say that, the love for my child grew, and I never knew I could love something so much and so hard and just with all my might. Like, that moment changed everything. It was just like, I want to be better for my child. I want to give my child everything that I possibly can. And then, as time went on, I started to, see more and more pictures. These ones are my favorite. Like, I haven't gotten one since these last sets, actually. With my whole "this day didn't go well" thing, yeah, that explains it. So hopefully on the 3rd, I'll be able to get some new ones and be able to find out the gender. But that one's my favorite. And seeing seeing that there's like a real person, like it's real, so I definitely, won't take this for granted, and I'm very happy to be this little one's mother, but it was just where I was, and like I said, I was very nervous about sharing this video just because of how raw this is and how, pretty much uncut this is, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, if I get backlash, I get backlash, but this is just what it was like for me, and there's no book. Even though I have that what to expect, I have that book, what to expect when you're expecting, but there is never really a true guide on what to expect, and no one prepares you for these things, and they tell you to go see, a psychiatrist. I'm supposed to see one. I need to make my appointments and stuff for one, but with the whole insurance change, it's been a mess. But hopefully, I'll be able to get that taken care of soon, and see somebody and talk to someone, because I do want to be a better person, and I feel like I have changed. It might not be like a lot, but I feel more like mature and more like, okay, yes, I'm gonna be someone's mom. And it's crazy to sit there and say that, because it's like, if you know me in real life, you're like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be somebody's mom. But I'm excited now, and to feel my baby move, and be able to make it this far. I'm gonna be 6 months in a week. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, time is coming. It's she. Well, I strongly believe it's a girl, but but I like, the baby's gonna be here, so it's like, I want to be better. I want to be a better person. I want to have things set in motion, and I want to make sure that I can provide, not just financially, but mentally and emotionally, because it's hard living with mental health, and I pray daily that my baby does not have to go through these things, but if it happens, I just have to be even more the best version of me for the sake of my child, so that so that my child is aware of how to deal with it, because I was never aware of how to deal with these things. I used to write. That was my biggest outlet, was I used to write. But I also started taking it further. I tried to, or not try, excuse me, not tried, but I did. I was a cutter, and I can't even imagine, now that I'm growing this life, to know that my child is suffering or miserable on the inside, and does not have a better outlet other than self-harm. I can't even fathom that, and I don't want to imagine that. And that's why I'm just like, what are the steps? Like, how do I prevent these things? And it's like, sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. I can't protect you from everything, but I definitely would do my hardest to do so, because I don't want this child to experience it. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. Mental illnesses is not, it's not fun, but I don't want it to be I don't want it to define me, because I've come a long way. I've come such a long way from where I used to be, and I'm like proud to say that, and that now that, yeah, I'm gonna be a mom, so it might not have happened in my timing. It's like, I still had things I wanted to do, but for whatever reasons, this is the timing. You can't pick, things just happen. And I know, like, if we do things the right way, marriage, wait till marriage, wait till marriage. And I want to make sure I instill that in my child, because unfortunately, that option was taken from me at a young age to wait till marriage. And then I just kept going with it. I just kept doing things. But, it is what it is, and I'm just in a place where I just would suggest strongly, if you're not ready, just wait. Just wait till you have the right person by your side. Wait till you're married. Just wait. Because even though it's hard and you see everybody else, you see your best friend or your sister, your cousin, or whatever out there doing it, it's not 5 seconds of fun. It's not worth a whole 18 years if you're not ready. It's just, I'm gonna be honest, it's really not worth. So it's like, just wait till you have that right person that's gonna be by your side, and wants the same things as you want, has the same values you have, that's not gonna just leave you high and dry at the rough times. It's just gonna be there for you. And that's, like I said, that's the only thing I wish that I would have done differently. That I wish that I would have waited, but I'm 6 months in, so can't really, do that. But I just know for future times not to make the same mistake twice. Now it's time that I grow up, and I realize that it's not all the glitter is not, or all gold is not glitter, whatever that saying is. But I'm just really realizing that, because it's hard. It's hard to be in this, and feel the way that I feel sometimes, and not to really have a partner to sit and bounce these things off of, and I tried to talk to my mother, and I try to talk to my best friend, but it's like, it's only so much that they can do. And that now I'm trying to have an outlet here, like I always have been, and it feels good to get it off my chest, but at the same time, it's just like, still doesn't change anything. But just wait and make sure that you are together. That's the only wish that I would have had for myself, is to make sure that I was more together than I am today. But now it just makes me want to be, and want to get myself together, and want to strive for better, because I have this little one to look after. So, but yeah, I wasn't supposed to make this video that long, but I just wanted to get that off my chest. And I'll probably do another video tomorrow. I'm kind of striving for it. And that will be a little bit more easy. It won't be so, oh my gosh, just, raw like this. And, I'm the, like I said, I can never make promises. I try never to make promises, that I know I can't keep. But I have been trying to get better at it. With the last couple videos that I've done, it was like I did one for a week, and then it was like a week later, and then this was only 2 days from my last video. So hopefully you guys see that I'm trying. It's still time to redo my hair, but yeah. So until next time, guys, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.